Today working on a 2010 Toyota 4Runner. The shifter is acting up, the speedometer doesn't work, and the brake light stays on the dash. I traced all that down to a blown 10 amp ECU ignition number 1 fuse. It's in the under dash fuse box under here. I don't think I can get in there to get you a decent picture of that. But anyways, what I've narrowed it down to is when the shifter is in reverse, the fuse blows. And what I did to find out if it's in the shifter or somewhere else in the vehicle, I went ahead and depressed the override button down here, got the shifter into neutral, turned the ignition on, and then left the fuse in place. And I tried it in each one of the gears and it never blew. I put it in the reverse position, and about 3 to 5 seconds later the fuse blows. So I replaced the fuse, and I went through and disconnected all the connectors going to the shifter, and the one here, there's one down here, and one down on the side. Completely disconnected, still blows a fuse, as long as it's in the reverse position. So that tells me there's a problem with the reverse signal coming out of the transmission range selector switch. I don't know what happened with all that. But anyways, it comes in here on the green wire, comes through the transmission range sensor or switch, comes out the red, comes back up through here, which you see I got it all highlighted, and comes back to the backup light or backup relay in the fuse box. And this fuse blows whether the engine is running or not, just in reverse. So I don't think I've already looked at the wires around the transmission and exhaust, nothing shorted out there. That's where I started at, and nothing there. So I think right now I'm going to go out here and I'm going to find this relay and disconnect it. I'm also going to kind of look around at the wiring around there, see if I can see anything that might be, well, I don't need to do that, because it only does it when the shifter is in reverse, and this would have power going to it all the time. So it means nothing. It couldn't be over there. I'd already looked at that earlier. But seeing how it only blows when it's in reverse and not when it's in park or any of the other gears, that means that the green wire doesn't have a problem on it. It's got to be after it comes out of the range selector switch and comes out on the red wire and back to everything. And I also found out that same red wire goes to the ECM. So it's supposed to have a connector over there on that side of the dash, and that says it's on the right end of the dash. So I think the best thing for me to do is go ahead and take the right side of the dash out, look for that ECM, and look for the junction block connector and see if I can separate that wire out somewhere. Let's see if I can show you this circuit real quick. Yeah. This is for the rear view mirror with camera. And we have the ECU IG1 fuse right here. Comes out on the green wire, goes through a couple of harness connectors, and I'm sorry I got gloves on and no mouse, and it's a little bit difficult to do this. But the green wire comes down and goes to the part neutral switch on the right side of the transmission, comes out on the red wire and goes back to a reverse signal in the inner rear view mirror assembly. Once I realized that, I went to the mirror that has some metal necklaces around it. I lifted those up, and I also messed with the wiring harness looking for a plug. There was a collar around it. I rotated it. I'll show that in a second. And after that, I replaced the fuse and put it in reverse, and no more blown fuse. So I don't know if it was the necklace had gotten something down in there, if the mirror itself was bad, or if there's something wrong with that harness that's part of the mirror. This is the type of metal necklace that was around it, along with a big necklace. And this is the collar that I was messing with that the wire and harness goes through. Now those necklaces were up in here, and I thought that they may have went in there and shorted something out, but I don't see any kind of circuits right there. So my guess is probably right there where that crease is. There might be a problem with the wiring in there, or there's something loose inside this mirror floating around and shorting out, and when we moved it, it's gone. But anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the wiring up there and remount the mirror, and she'll have a normal rear view mirror without the camera in it, and hopefully no more blowed fuses. The mirror did start working after I took the necklaces and everything off of it and took it down from the windshield. I don't know if you can trust it to actually be fixed or not, so what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect that plug up there, mount it all back in place, and she'll just have a regular rear view mirror. Sparky out.